Hello all, welcome back to a new video from Foodie Zest. Today let's see how to make Vatteyappam. It's a very famous dish in Kerala and it's also very easy to make. So let's check out the ingredients. We need 1 cup rice flour and 3/4 cup of freshly grated coconut. Make sure you use the freshly grated ones because it gives that nice taste and texture to the Vatteyappam. Then we need 1/4 cup of sugar, half teaspoon yeast, a pinch of salt, then some ghee for greasing the pan. Then we need water needed for making the batter with the rice flour. And then we need some raisins and cashews for garnishing. You can also add some cardamom and cumin seeds while making this dish, but that's optional. Here I am not going to use them because I don't like the flavor of it. So let's quickly start the preparations. First let's grind the coconut adding some water. Add very little water and just grind the coconut with the help of a blender or mixer. Along with the coconut you can also add some cumin seeds or cardamom pods if you like the flavor of it, or you can also add both of them. Traditionally, Vatteyappams were made by soaking rice for about 4 to 5 hours or overnight and then fermenting them again for about 4 hours. But now we can use the rice flour instead of the soaked rice, and this makes it much more easier and it also saves time. Now our coconut paste is ready. Let's add them into the rice flour. The rice flour should be very fine as we need to get a smooth batter out of it. So if you have any lumps in the rice flour, you just put it in a mixer and give it a whip and get a nice fine and smooth rice flour. And now let's add sugar. I'm adding 1/4 cup of sugar, but you can adjust the sugar level according to your taste. Next let's add some salt. Just add a pinch of it. We are adding salt just to balance out the sweetness. And now let's add the yeast. Just about half teaspoon, that would be enough. Yeast is the agent which helps in the fermentation of the flour. And here I am using the active dry yeast, just a half teaspoon of it. And then let's mix everything well. Now we are going to blend it, so let's add some water and mix everything well together before adding it into a blender. If you want, you can add little lukewarm water instead of plain water if you want the fermentation to be faster, or else you can go for plain water. Now I have mixed it and let's blend it now, adding enough water so that we get a nice smooth batter. Now our mix is ready and you can see the consistency. Let's pour it into a bowl. Let's give the batter a nice mix. You can see the consistency of the batter. It is not very thick or very thin. If you feel the batter is little thick, you can add some more water and adjust the consistency. At this time you can also check for salt and the sweetness. Add more sugar if you need it. So now our batter for Vatteyappam is ready. Let's cover it with a lid and allow it to ferment for at least 3 hours or until the batter has doubled in volume. If you are residing in colder regions, then you can either keep them near the stove or you can just switch on the light in the oven and keep the batter inside it. Now after 3 hours, you can see the batter has fermented well. The bowl is almost full now. Now gently mix the batter. This is how a perfect batter should be for making Vatteyappam. Let's keep it aside and grease the pan in which we are going to steam the Vatteyappam. I have taken a cake baking tin. Now let's grease the tin with the ghee. You can also use coconut oil or any other oil. Grease every inch of the tin so that it will be easier to remove the vattapam once they are done. Now I have greased the pan completely and it's time to pour in the batter. Pour the batter gently into the tin and make sure it is just half filled. Or else take a bigger vessel. Meanwhile, let's get the steaming vessel ready. So for that, I have kept a pan and I have kept a stand inside it. Let's pour some water. Put the flame on high and cover it with a lid until the water boils. In the meantime, let's cover the tin with the aluminium foil. This helps in trapping the heat inside and also prevents water from getting inside. Once it's covered well, let's put some small holes with the help of a toothpick. And now let's check our steamer. The water has boiled well and our steamer is ready. And it's time to place the tin inside the vessel. Cover it again and put the flame on medium to high and cook it for around 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, insert a toothpick and check whether it's cooked. If the toothpick is clean, then it's done and you can switch off the stove, or else cook it for another 5 minutes and check again. Now it's done. I'll switch off the flame and remove it from the stove top. It's steaming hot. Let's remove the foil and allow it to cool for some time. While it's slightly warm, let's garnish the vattapam with the raisins and cashews. You can garnish it the way you like it. So you can even add cherries instead of these dry grapes and cashews. So now it's done. Allow it to cool down completely before removing it from the tin. Now it's completely cooled down. I'll gently slide a knife through the sides so that it will be easier to remove the vattapam from the tin. Now I have easily removed it from the tin and let's cut them into smaller pieces. You can see how soft it is. It's so fluffy. This is how a perfect vattapam should be, so airy and fluffy. And it has a very mild sweet taste. You can also have this dish as a main course, but in that case you need to reduce the amount of sugar added, and then you can have it with any spicy gravy, and it tastes so good with a spicy chicken curry. So you can try this recipe as a snack as well as a main course. As a main course, I love to have it with pepper chicken, because the mild sweetness of the vattapam and the spiciness of the pepper chicken is a fantastic combination. So please do try this recipe and give your thumbs up if you like it. Thanks for watching Foodies. Like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon for more notifications. Let's meet again with a new recipe video.